Morning rituals, we all have that deep desire, right, to make it the perfect version for ourselves in our lives. But are we really able to do it? Let's learn on how we can create powerful morning rituals. This is Dr. Gopika Kumar, a communication and a mindset coach. Let's get started with this right away. How do we create a powerful morning ritual routine? Have you ever thought about this? I'm only going to be speaking completely out of experience rather than the numberless books that I have read, that I have found my inspiration from. But what I can only validate and speak to you is from my own life. So if you'd like to learn that what helped me create my very, very powerful morning ritual, here is how it flows. Take up your journal and start making your notes right away. So any morning ritual that you'd like to create for yourself starts from a very simple habit to what we call as habit stacking. Now this was a concept that I had also learned from a very interesting and a famous book called Atomic Habits. And in this book, it talks about the habit of putting whatever you want to bring in as a part of your routine to do it on a regular day-to-day basis, to stack them along with your existing ones. Now I'm going to share a very, very interesting anecdote. So I had always heard, and my mother used to tell me that get up early in the morning and do it because it's something that it makes us healthy and wise, and it's something really good to do. But I never really paid attention much to it until my own kids started going to school, and I had absolutely no choice but to get up well in time, which made me get up now, almost with two of them going to school at about 6 a.m. in the mornings, and sometimes even earlier. Something that I used to find extremely difficult because I was somebody who would get up at 10 a.m. in the morning or maybe even later and then get to my place of work. Once that started to become a part of me, not only about over 20 days or 60 days or 66 days, I had no choice but to fulfill that as a part of my responsibility. I realized that it's becoming a part of me. And all I needed to do was to build this into a powerful habit, into a powerful morning routine, so that I'm actually able to create value in that space of time for myself. Now here is all that I did. I stacked along with this habit other powerful rituals, which go along this way, pre and post. And for all these rituals that I was following, I'm going to share the exact sequence so you literally know it, practically, that what is it that I was doing first and then post that as well. So I used to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning, but then I started to add up to my areas that what is it that I can do after I have dropped them to school. And I started to chant. So I practiced Buddhism very strongly, and as a part of my entire family, in fact, we all follow the same. I started to spend my time starting from about a space of 20 minutes to 40 minutes to sometimes an hour, and be able to chant and pray, to, the Gohanzan that we pray to, and sit across and, seek that time where there's complete and absolute peace, because, it's a time where nobody's really going to disturb you. It started to make me feel nicer, and that feel-good factor started to creep in. I stacked another habit to it, and I thought that this is also a good idea that while I'm going to be chanting, I'm going to stack another habit of drinking warm water with lemon and honey in it. Now I had heard that this is something that's really good, and I really wanted to practice it, but unless and until you're getting up in the morning to have that empty stomach, how would you do it? Now was the perfect time for me to stack it. And I already had almost about 3 different ways of stacking up my habits one after another. As soon as I would finish up my chanting, I would say that I still have time and I don't really need to get to work, and let me get myself a little abreast with what's happening. And by that time, the newspaper would be in my room. I would be done with my chanting. I would be done with my glass of hot, warm water. And I would pick up that newspaper and read that for almost about 10 minutes, just to keep myself updated and, completely abreast with what was happening around. And then my actual morning chores would start. I was already building up into this, and I practiced this almost for years. Recently, I've been able to realize the glory of even an earlier morning routine, which I stacked along with the one that was already existing. So I shared this with you, right? That I used to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I don't think that I've shared this at any other platform. I started to stack this with a practice that I had, of course, read as a part of the 5 a.m. club, which is by Robin Sharma, and joined up some early risers group as well, which was always talking about getting up earlier, even before the sun rises. This was difficult. This wasn't something that was really sounding easy to me. But I thought, if this is something that I'm already doing at 6 a.m., I'm sure that I'll be able to stack it along with the same as well. I started to challenge myself to wake up at about 5:30. And hear me out on what exactly happened after that. Just because I had those 30 to 45 minutes before I could actually prepare my kids to be sent to school, in that space of 45 minutes between 5:30 a.m. to almost about 6:15, I would go and take myself out for a walk. And that vigor and that energy used to instill that fire for me in the morning itself to get up and get out of bed. Because I knew that if this half an hour was lost, then I will not be able to take care of this bit, and this would be completely lost. It pushed me to further take up an action that if I can do it at about 5:30 a.m., something which has helped me to spring out of bed, at that early of an hour, it started to push me to actually strive even harder. And I can tell you, every little stacking of a habit that I've done here, I've done that for a minimum space of 21 days at least, to taking it to almost about 3 months. It wasn't just about over a course of, 2 to 3 to 5 to 7 days. It actually took certain time for me to really get used to stacking up of that habit into my routine. And now it further helped me to push myself to do what we call as meditation, and giving yourself those 20 minutes, as very popularly laid out in the book as well, 5 a.m., which says that the only time that you can spend with yourself, where there is nobody who's going to come and disturb you, will be the space and time when nobody is up in your house, is where you can actually spend time self-reflecting, speaking to yourself, keeping yourself in a non-distracted, no noisy zone, which we refer to as a state of just closing your eyes, or as we call it popularly, as a state of meditation. You don't have to really do anything, just the fact that you need to be out of your bed. And that feel-good factor started to rise up. This another habit stacking was now being added into my powerful action routine that I always wanted to have as a part of my morning routine. And if you're still wondering that what time was I really getting up, was at 5 a.m. where I would get up, and the first thing I would do is smile. The second would be to offer my state of gratitude, or where I am, where I belong, and for all the blessings that I've already received, and then start my space of me time. Then start my space of giving myself those 20 minutes where there are bundles of thoughts coming in from the day before, from the day that's approaching, but that's my me time. Now, if you would really like to add up all of this entire powerful action routine has only developed over a course of time. And I'd only like you to take inspiration from this. If you're doing any one task, stack another one, pre or post, whichever one comes your way. And I can promise you, you'll soon have a powerful morning routine which is full of you doing activities which helps you to upgrade your mindset, your soul set, your heart set, and helps you to upgrade your feel good factor, which I call as the FGF. And if your FGF is right, your feel good factor is right, you've already set your day on a triumph note. And with that smile, go ahead and progress your day. If that's something that you did like, please remember to press the like button. Would love to hear back your comments as well. Do share it with your friends and family for anybody who would like to develop a powerful action routine for themselves. I will continue to share many such videos with you. This is Dr. Gopika Kumar signing off. Until then.